If a citizen of Jordan or Palestine or southwestern Israel came up to you today and said, your holy book, the Bible, instructs you to wipe out my children, what would you say to them? Most likely you would say to them, hogwash. My Bible is full of the love of God, and Jesus tells us to love everyone, etc., etc., etc. However, if these people were well versed in our Bible, they could point to Psalm 137, which at the end says, blessed are those who dash the little Edomites against rocks. Check it if you don't believe me. Inferring that God blesses those who dash little Edomites against rocks. Edom was the ancient country that occupied the areas that I just mentioned. Why do I bring this up? Because simply assuming that the entire Bible is the inerrant, infallible Word of God can get you into trouble. We all want to be like the Bereans in the book of Acts who studied the scriptures to see if the things that they were being told were true, unlike the Thessalonians who did not. Check that story in the book of Acts. But when we do and we run up against things like this, what are we to do if we're going to be noble-minded like the Bereans? Simply accept the party line, it's just the Word of God. I just accept it, Jesse, it's just the Word of God. Or we can be honest about it and say, maybe the Word of God is something a little bit different, such as what the Bible actually tells us that the Word of God is. The Bible tells us that 3 things of the Word of God over and over and over throughout the entire thing. First, any message or word that God sent to any person or people or group of people for a specific purpose at any time. Hundreds of examples of those throughout the Bible. Second, Christ himself. New Testament mentions Christ being the Word of God several times. And third, the gospel itself is referred to explicitly as being the Word of God probably 100 times in the New Testament alone. Check out the book of Acts, which contains the most explicit references to the gospel being the Word of God. We can't simply assume anything, because if you do, it'll get you in trouble. You have to go deeper. You have to trust the Lord himself, Yeshua HaMashiach, who is the truth and who told us that we need to listen to the Spirit of truth, who will guide us into all truth, instead of just assuming that popular party lines and everything that everybody around us says is true. Thanks, and have a fabulous day.